The following episode of the Maui Chamber of Commerce's Business Matters radio show was originally broadcast on November 9th, 2021.
And welcome to the Maui Chamber of Commerce's Business Matters radio show, sponsored by Mogul Airlines. I'm your host, Pamela Tumpa, president of the Maui Chamber of Commerce, and today we are going to talk about the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, targeted advance grants, and the district SBA office is visiting Maui on November 17th and 18th. And so that's great. Wayne's going to talk about that, and the Chamber's been partnering with them to schedule appointments as well. So we're going to learn more about their visit and how you can participate. And then we're going to talk about tourism and the shift in tourism, air transportation on Molokai, the Mayor's Small Business Awards that are coming up, and small businesses participating in state and county legislation. And we're going to speak with a local business owner who's committed to fulfilling all of your construction and or remodeling dreams. But first, we're going to start this morning with Wayne Wong. Wayne is the Center Director of the Hawaii Small Business Development Center. He is a recovering technologist with over 30 years of information technology experience. He currently utilizes his entrepreneur expertise as the SBDC Maui Center, providing businesses with no-cost counseling, advice, and training here in Maui County. He enables small businesses to succeed. He serves on the board of directors for several cultural and educational nonprofit boards in Maui County and is the co-founder and co-producer of the 4-time Grammy Award-winning live concert series, Masters of Hawaiian Slack Key Guitar. So good morning, Wayne, and how are you this morning?
Good morning, Pam. I'm fine. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, we're so glad to have you join us this morning. I know that you're going to talk to us about the targeted advance grants and what the grants are and how can people apply.
Yeah, and it's very critical at this point because this is sort of the last of the rounds of relief funding that has been made available by the SBA, and the program is scheduled to expire at the end of this year on December 31st. So if you want to take advantage of this, you need to get your application in as soon as possible.
Awesome. And tell people about what kinds of money is available and what the grants are focused on.
Sure. So the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, or EIDL, is essentially working capital, and it's a long-term loan which makes the repayment, very reasonable in terms of a 30-year loan. The other nice thing about it is it goes all the way. It's been increased in terms of how much money is available now, and even for people that went and got the initial loan way back last year. They were giving out loans up to about $150,000, and now that's been increased up to $2 million. So not only are we asking people to go and take advantage of this for the first time, but if you've had a previous IO loan, now's the time to actually go in and you can apply for an increase.
Which, yes, we just heard about that the other day, and that's such great news because many people are still in need, and many of you maybe have back-owed rents and mortgage payments. You've been, we saw the economy rebound over the summer, but, we've now gone in the shoulder period. But even when it was rebounding, we still had some back-owed debt. So it's great that we got this extension and more money is now available.
Right, and it's nice because, yes, it is a loan. It's not a grant, and then we'll talk about there's a grant component later on. But, the thing about it is that what's very different from a standard business loan is that, it's such a long term. It's 30 years, amortized over 30 years. It's a 3.75% loan, and then the first 2 years the payments are actually deferred. So interest does accrue, but you don't need to make your first payment for another 2 years. So it's really geared to provide relief for COVID.
Yeah, it is really a tremendous opportunity. And so tell people how they can apply and about the deadline.
Okay, so if you have not received a loan previously, you would just go to the SBA website, and right on the homepage, there'll be their relief products. You would just click on EIDL, and then it gives you the details with a link right to the application form. And so the application is a fairly long URL, but it's pretty straightforward. I mean, literally go to sba.gov. Right on the home page, there'll be an indication for EIDL. Click on that, and then you're on the page that will take you to the application. So pretty simple. If you already have an EIDL loan, all you would do is log into the portal. So when you get your loan, you will have a portal that lets you manage the loan.
Right.
You would just log into that, and then you'll see there'll be a button for requesting an increase. And one little hint, you do want to say that you want an increase, not that you want a second loan, because second loans are not available.
Right. Good point. And so make sure that for those who got the EIDL loan before, again, it's been expanded. You can go back and apply. So make sure you click increase. And so, more funding is available. We want to maximize this funding here in Maui County. We want all businesses here who still need that funding. Again, it is a loan, but the interest rates are good and there's deferred payments. So make sure that you get in there and go ahead and take advantage of that, because this is one of the few relief efforts that we still have available to us.
Right.
And Wayne, you were going to talk to us. You mentioned, and thank you for not, by the way, going through that long SBA URL, because it is very long, and it's funny how I always look at the federal government's long naming conventions and go, wow, okay. But it's easier just to kind of Google it, get to the SBA site, and figure it out. And the good thing is the navigation on the site is really good.
Right.
So it's pretty logical. So a lot of people say, well, if you just give me the URL, it's so much easier. And I'm like, not in this case. So just kind of navigate through there. But, there are grants coming up with the targeted advance grants. Can you tell everybody about those grants and how people can apply for them as well?
Sure. So there's a targeted EIDL advance grant. And so for those that remember way back when EIDL first came out, it was sort of like an extra thing you could request. So you would request a loan, and then it was sort of, and by the way, there's a grant component that was available as well. That was $1,000 for every employee that you had on record. So as we move forward, they decided to introduce that again, but almost as a separate product. So it's not really attached to the loan anymore. It is now an advance grant that you can apply for. However, it has brand new eligibility requirements.
Huh.
And so if you notice, they now are called targeted EIDL advance grants. And the targeted means that in order to be eligible for this, the small business must be located in a low-income community, and that low-income community is defined in IRS code, and it's revealed as a policy map. And so what's very interesting about that map is that it was done way back in 2015, so it has not been updated. However, the way that the law was written, it specifically calls for that particular map. So we have to live by the boundaries that are in that map.
I see.
So one of the interesting things is in Wailuku, between Vineyard and Main Street, and then sort of High Street, and I forget what the lower limit is. It's I think almost all the way down to Beach Road. That is considered a low-income community. So to get access to these grants, you basically would go to the loan application location. So that's either your portal, or if you're brand new, you would go as if you were asking for a loan, but then there's a whole section that talks about these advanced grants. But eligibility question number one is, are you in the low-income community as defined by that map?
Right. So you'll need to make sure you're familiar with that map.
Right. And again, unfortunately, it's a long URL, but once you get to the map, it's really easy to use. It comes up, it looks like any kind of mapping product you've ever tried before, and you simply just put in your street address, and then it'll come up, and you'll either appear inside of the shaded area, which is eligible, or outside of the shaded area.
I see. Okay. And then beyond you being located within that map region,
right. There are two other criteria. So one is that you must demonstrate a 30% reduction in revenue during any 8-week period beginning from March 2nd, 2020 or later.
Okay.
And usually that's not much of a push-out.
No.
So 30% reduction in revenue, and then fewer than 300 employees.
Which so many of our companies will meet.
Right.
So this is, again, another great area. But the beauty of this area is that it is a grant.
Correct.
And so, now's the time to apply. Is there a deadline for applying for this? Does it coincide with the other?
It does coincide. So the funds for this will expire on December 31st.
Okay. So we want to make sure that you are getting your applications in now, and want to get everybody geared up for this because, again, you've got till the end of the year, but, it's already November.
That's right. And if you've worked with the SBA before, the application process is not quite as quick as you would like it to happen. So you do need to get started as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's very true. And the other thing is that we've seen before is money's available when money's available, but if there's a rush, then money can sometimes run out and not be available for a while. So take advantage now.
And I think some of the people are asking, well, there is, or at least the SBA has indicated that there is a lot of money in the fund still, so they won't run out. However, that just changed yesterday when the Biden infrastructure bill went through, because hidden in that passing of that infrastructure bill was the fact that it was going to retake all the money back from all the relief programs that had not been already allocated.
Okay, so
so the December 31st date is going to be the actual end, because there's not going to be an extension. There's not going to be more funds put into it.
Okay. All right. So, but it's still good till, I wanted to make sure we were clear, because you were saying they'll take it back. But again, you still have till December 31st. Well, you don't really have till December 31st. You've got to get your application in before then and have it, I would say you want it in and acknowledged before then, and better yet, in, acknowledged, and approved. But so get it in now. This is the time, again, we've got new bills coming forward in Congress. The infrastructure bill is a big one. Of course, they're looking for funding on how to pay for all of that infrastructure investment. So this is the time. So we don't want anybody to delay with this.
Yep.
And you're going to talk about, let's talk about the District SBA office visiting Maui on the 17th and 18th. I know you wanted to share why they're on island, and how people can get involved.
Okay, yeah, so the SBA has their management set up into districts, and District 9 happens to be not just Hawaii, but actually takes in the whole Pacific. And one of the things that is a big stress this year is going to be reaching out to rural and more of the underserved communities, of which all the neighbor islands is considered an underserved community. And so because of that, they're asking the district offices to perform more face-to-face outreach so that they can hear straight from, the contingencies, mouths, what their concerns are, what their needs are, and to support that, this is the first year that the district office actually has been given traveling funds. So the nice thing is that the district office is coming to Maui on November 17th and 18th. And then on the 16th, they're actually going to go to Molokai as well, so to make sure that they deal with the whole county. But for Maui Nui in general, it'll be November 17th and 18th. And again, it's mainly like a talk story and let's get to know you, a meet and greet. So I would encourage all businesses to come in and this is your opportunity to see, one, what can the SBA do for you? And then number two, what would you want the SBA to do?
Exactly. Yeah, so we've been actually helping with the schedule at the Chamber, and on the mornings of the 17th, they're having meetings from 8 to noon in Wailuku, and then on the 18th, they're doing upcountry meetings from 8:30 to 12:30. Are they coming out? Do you have them coming out to South Maui as well?
They came about a month ago, and we did it in South Maui. So this time around, they're just going to be doing the two locations that you called.
Yeah. So they're going to be actually at the Pono Building on the 17th, and they're scheduling half-hour meetings. But there's two ladies coming. Hazel and Valerie. And so if they need to tag team on the morning of the 17th, there's two rooms at the Pono Building that they can use. And are you helping with taking calls as well and scheduling, Wayne?
I'm not helping on the scheduling.
Okay.
I think they were telling me that the chamber and you were doing that.
Yeah, we are. I just wanted to make sure because I didn't want to. If you were also helping, this morning I was thinking, we might need to coordinate. So yeah, if you want a meeting either in Wailuku or upcountry, this is a great time to meet the ladies. And we're really excited because they're working with all of their partners on island and building, what they call this hub and spoke model. But the director, Mark Spain, is really into boots on the ground, and we're really excited that they're coming and spending more time on Maui. So on the 17th, it is 8 a.m. They're going to start early. They're starting at 8 a.m. till 12 p.m., and then they're doing some touring in the afternoon. And then on the 18th, it's upcountry up in Kula, and they'll be working from 8:30 to 12:30 on meetings and appointments. So if you're interested, call us at the Chamber at 244-0081, and Robin will be happy to get the times and dates that work for you, and we're building a schedule on that. And the best part is, as Wayne said, is the district office now is really working very diligently to serve throughout Maui County, and there is so much that the SBA can do. And you've been involved in helping many people get SBA assistance as well.
Yeah, so the SBDC is a technical partner, right? So most of the assistance that we do just has to do with helping people gain access to the programs of SBA. But in this particular case, you now have an opportunity to talk about what new kinds of programs you need. So, it's a great opportunity. I also want to put in a little plug for Hazel Beck, who is the new assistant director for the district.
Yes.
And because she has a long history, she's been in Hawaii for a long time and then she moved away, but she's a very big women business advocate and has actually headed up a number of national women business associations. So she's a great one to really empathize and understand some of the challenges, not only of being in an underserved community, but running a women-owned business.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you mentioned that. And she's also been involved strongly in this is Veterans Business Week. Mm-hmm. And so she's also been very involved in veteran business programs as well. Yeah, we're lucky, aren't we, that we've got such a great boots on the ground team right now.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, well, Wayne, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We loved having you on the show. We'd love to welcome you back again soon.
All right. I'd be happy to do it. This is such a great opportunity to get the word out to people.
Oh, thank you. Well, we're here every Tuesday morning, so I'll make sure that maybe we can get you on once a month.
All right. Sounds good.
Awesome.
Be careful what you ask for.
Well, I always appreciate you. Thank you so much, Wayne. You have a great day.
All right. Aloha.
Aloha. We'll be right back after a moment from our sponsor, Mogul
Airlines operates the largest commuter airline hub in the country, right here in Kahului. Fly Mokulele from Kahului to Molokai, Lanai, Hana, Waimea, Kona, and now Hilo. Mokulele also operates the only flights between Kapalua and Honolulu. There is never a middle seat on Mokulele, and every seat has a window and aisle. Visit mokuleleairlines.com and take your next flight from the newly renovated Mokulele Terminal.
And we're back with Business Matters. I wanted to take a quick moment. If you're just tuning in, this is Business Matters brought to you by the Chamber of Commerce. And I wanted to take a quick moment for all of our listeners and for the broader community who tried to shop our local vendors from Maui, Molokai, and Lanai this past weekend on Saturday for the 8th Annual Hawaiian Airlines Made in Maui County Festival. We just had another devastating blow, and the blow was that the system that hosted all the vendor booths, which is a mainland service provider, for the first time ever, they've never seen it happen, but I guess their third-party servers had glitches, and all of the vendor booths went down, and it went down about a half an hour after we started the festival, and we worked with them from that moment on, tried to communicate with our festival vendors throughout the day and give them news and updates as the company thought they could bring it back quickly, but it actually the outage spanned till 2 p.m. when it took them that long to bring it back. And they had their whole team on deck working over the weekend to and their hours were different because many of them were on East Coast hours, but they worked until they got it back up at 2 p.m., and we are working with them, and we are working with the county on doing a reboot to do another 8th Annual Made in Maui County Festival. Maybe we're going to call it the Holiday Edition, but we are working right now with our vendors who, of course, lost out on a tremendous amount of sales during that amazing shopping period when they could have had great sales, to see what we can do to rectify this and boost their sales. They've worked so hard to gear up for this festival, and we know the time and investment it takes to do that, and we don't want to leave them hanging this holiday season. We are encouraging everybody to shop. You can still shop now. The festival booths are still up. We've kept it open, so you can shop right now at madeinmauicountyfestival.com. You can shop there. The booths are open. Find amazing treasures now, but we are going to do something else, and we're trying to do something live. So stay tuned. We're working today. We're partnering with the county, who's been such a tremendous help. We're looking to see what else we can do where we would have a live component and a virtual component before the holiday season. So just wanted to share that amazing news. Again, when life gives you lemons, you have to make lemonade, and it was devastating on Saturday. But now it's what can we do moving forward? And we're going to do everything possible to allow those people who are dying to shop to find great gifts and treasures and to support our small local vendors that are niche manufacturers working hard to deliver quality products for you. So shop away now, but know that we might have something live in the next few weeks. So with that, I also wanted to share that we have Rob Stephenson. He is a great friend. And he is a lifetime entrepreneur, small business owner, and is currently the president and CEO of the Molokai Chamber of Commerce. In 2009, Rob was appointed as president and CEO of the Molokai Chamber and is an active advocate for the local business community. He became a well-respected leader in the community and has previously served on the on the board of the Molokai Community Federal Credit Union, Destination Molokai Visitors Bureau, the Molokai Community Plan, the which he served on the advisory committee, and as past chair of the Molokai Planning Commission. He has been an active participant in his community and currently serves as the president of the Molokai Filipino Community Council and is a member of the Hawaii Tourism Authority Molokai Destination Management Action Plan Advisory Committee. Rob continues to be very involved not only in his role serving the community, but as his role in the legislative process, both in Maui County and the state of Hawaii, and is committed to bringing people together and forming collaborative partnerships to help benefit us all. Good morning, Rob, and welcome to the show. Great to have you on.
Good morning, Pam. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you today.
Well,
thanks for doing this show. It's a great service, and it's a great way to get all the information about our Maui County business community out to our residents and our visitors. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm glad to have you back. So, we just talked about, and we know it as the DMAP, the Destination Management Action Plans are sort of also known as the DMAP, and I know you serve on the Molokai Advisory Committee for that. Let's talk about tourism and shifts in tourism, and how has it affected businesses on Molokai?
Sure. So let's just take a step back and look at the numbers. So in 2019, Molokai had 65,000 visitors with a total visitor spending of $37 million in 2019. So in 2020, we had a total of 15,000 visitors with a total visitor spending of $10.7 million. And obviously that was during the pandemic.
Right.
If we look at the numbers for 2021, so far this year, through the end of September, we've seen 17,000 visitors with a total spending of just over $15 million. So if you look at the numbers, we've all the way through third quarter of 2021, we're not even halfway to where we were in 2019 as far as spending, and we're not even at a third of the total number of visitors. So it's going to take a lot to bring us back to those pre-COVID numbers, but we are seeing some tourism increase here on Molokai. If you look at the average daily spend of people, they would spend $129 a day in 2019 for a total trip spend of $574. In 2020, the HTA data doesn't even register on the scale, so we don't have any numbers for daily spend and the average trip spend. But in 2021, we see that people are spending more. They're spending $144 a day on average, and they're spending $750 per trip on average. So people are spending more. We just need to get more people here in order to bring those numbers back up.
Okay, so let's talk about how we do that, because I know that thankfully Mokulele had jumped in at a time when you folks didn't have an airlines for a while, and that was a big part of things as well. Is at one point you had great service, and then all of a sudden the service had to stop, and then it took thankfully Mokulele Airlines jumped in. How is that helping, and what else is going on in the airlines industry?
Well, it really is helping, and just to paint that picture, the tourism industry subsidized the airline industry, so our local residents, our families and friends, could use the airlines to get back and forth for our medical appointments, business appointments, shopping, and just basic general travel. So when we saw the pandemic came around, we saw the decrease in visitor arrivals. That really affected the airlines and their ability to continue to provide that service, so much that Molokai Airlines had to merge with Mogul Airlines. And we're very grateful that they invited Richard Schumann, who was the owner of Molokai Airlines, to come on board with them. And he's really helped to keep that continuity of service to help our local residents in place. And Ohana by Hawaiian, they got to a point to where there was so little tourist demand that they couldn't sustain their operations anymore. So Mokulele stepped up, they filled those gaps, and they've done a really, really great job in doing that. I think one of the biggest things that we can do as a community to invite tourists back is we've seen a shift in local sentiment about tourists, and we've seen a shift in the type of visitors that come. I think one of the ideas that I have is the best way that we can invite the type of tourists that we like is we can design programs and activities that attract that low impact and that high touch experience that people are looking for.
Absolutely.
Because very few people that I know will go on vacation somewhere where there aren't activities that they want to participate in. They're not going to waste your money. So we right now are at the opportunity in rebuilding tourism. We have the opportunity to design programs to attract the type of visitor that really works and integrates well within our community.
It is such an exciting time. And one of the things I also want to share with people is, because there's been so many things said throughout the pandemic, but a lot of this work was getting started back in the third quarter of 2019. And then, of course, COVID hit. And you point out with our reopening, we've resident sentiment has changed. Some of the early visitors that have come, we're getting great deals, and so it was a different type of visitor experience that we've had through a lot of the recovery period. But it's now's the time to really focus and shift. So, what are some of the exciting things that you see happening in terms of the redesigning? What are some of the impactful things that Molokai is looking at?
Some of the items that have been talked about in the DMAP steering committee and the advisory committee are trying to attract more of our local Hawaii residents for tourism. People that come over that want to go hunting or go spend time with family or spend time with outdoor activities to kind of get away from the hustle and bustle that's on some of our neighbor islands and come over to Molokai, where we're much more rural community, much more laid-back experience. Some of the other items that are being looked at are programs where tourists can come participate in activities environmental activities, maybe a beach cleanup or go help work on one of the fish ponds or some of the cultural type of activities to help them get an understanding of the host culture and really take a deep dive into what Molokai is all about.
Gosh, I love that. I early on in my career with MEDB got to work on a Hawaiian fish pond revitalization program and got to go over and see some of the Molokai fish ponds. And just, and they're across all of the islands, but you folks really have such special places, and I'd love to see, and I think many of our residents throughout the state of Hawaii would love to see and go to a fish pond experience and participate in beach cleanups and things on the island. That would be tremendous. Well,
we have a lot of those opportunities. Pardon me. We have a lot of those opportunities over here, and moving forward, some of those programs are going to be further developed, and I'm sure there's going to be some announcements in the near future on those types of programs that are available. But one of the things that I'd like to touch on as well is, in order to host visitors here on the island, we do need the airlift, which is important, and Mokulele is doing a great job. They're going to bring in some larger aircraft later this year. But we also need places for people to stay, and one of the challenges we find right now is there's a movement within some folks in the county council to remove the ability for some of our resort condominium complexes to actually host short-term vacation rentals.
Yes.
And there was actually a bill that was heard last Wednesday in the Planning and Sustainable Land Use Committee that would outlaw short-term rentals in apartment-zoned zoning districts. And we have 5 condo complexes on Molokai, but only 2 of them are within that apartment zoning district.
Okay.
And if those are removed from being able to host short-term rentals, that removes potentially about 240 rooms that could potentially be used to host visitors. Now, not every unit at each of those complexes is a short-term rental, but they have the possibility to host people for short-term rentals, whether it be now or in the future. So the importance of participating in the legislative process is something that our business owners and people in the tourism industry really need to take some time and participate in if they're able and if they're available during the times of those hearings. Because they received over 100 testimonies that were opposed to this bill, they actually deferred that bill in the county council until a later time and going to try to find a workaround so it doesn't affect as many people adversely. So the importance of participating in the legislative process and participating and getting your voice out there as a business owner, as an apartment owner, as anyone who has an interest in tourism, it's something that we all need to step up and play our part in.
I so appreciate you saying that. You know I was at that meeting. And we sent in written as well as provided video testimony. And unfortunately, that bill, we have concerns. We don't believe it will achieve some of the things they're trying to achieve, and there's other ways to do affordable housing and rentals. Because where these areas are, it's been long serving a different type of clientele. But I did not realize and appreciate you sharing the impact on Molokai and with those 2 units and 240 rooms. That's a huge impact. So thank you for letting us know and for always encouraging
really is.
people.
I don't fault anyone on the council or anyone who supports those types of measures. I think it's just more that they don't have the experience, or it's not at top of mind because they're maybe not here on Molokai, or they haven't had conversations with people that this would affect. So I think the more that we can do to help educate one another on the challenges that we face and the opportunities that we have in front of us, we could all come out better in the end.
I wholeheartedly agree. It's talking to the people affected and looking at winning solutions. And I think that, on the one hand, our council they're very serious and they're working hard to get a lot done and they're moving a lot of things quickly forward. And that's, in so many realms, that's awesome. But we also need to engage the public and share with them and help educate them along the way. And so thank you for always being a champion for that. And also, we appreciate your tremendous help with the Mayor's Small Business Awards. It's scheduled for Thursday, December 16th. And I know that you are out there trying to help Molokai companies learn about how, and the community learn about how they can nominate an outstanding small business on your island. So tell me a little bit about how that's going and a little bit more about how you feel businesses and small businesses can participate in the legislative process.
Well, as far as the Small Business Awards go, it's a great program that the mayor's office, through all the past administrations, and the Maui Chamber, you folks have really taken the lead on this, so thank you for that. It's a great way to recognize our small businesses because sometimes small businesses, you're just working. You don't have time to go to legislative meetings. You don't have time to get out there and really go through that type of process. It's nice for small businesses to be recognized for the work that they're doing because many people don't have time to do anything other than work on their businesses. And on Molokai, we've been very fortunate in the past to have several businesses actually win in their category. For instance, in 2012, we had Kumu Farms.
Yes.
Won the best small business. 2015, Rollins Service and Auntie Shirley Rollins and Lori Leigh Rollins Corvello, they won the Small Business Award. And all the way back in 2007, our now Senator, State Senator Lynn DeCoit from L&R Farms, she won the Small Business Person of the Year. So as you can see, we've got some very dynamic and very worthy businesses over here on Molokai. And we just want to try to get the word out and encourage people to support these businesses and nominate these businesses for the Small Business Awards so they can get the recognition that they so greatly deserve.
Absolutely. Well, Rob, it's always a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us today. We truly appreciate you. We appreciate our great partnership. And we will have you on again, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you in Zoom meetings sometime soon.
Yes, and thank you, Pam, and you're right. We do have a great partnership, not only between our 2 island chambers, but a partnership here in the state of Hawaii with all of us. And we really do need to support one another because as the old saying goes, the rising tide lifts all ships.
Right.
And we truly are stronger together. And if you really look at it, our common interests are much stronger than any of our differences. So if we continue to focus on the things that we have in common, I'm confident that we can move forward together and create really favorable outcomes for not only our business community, but for everyone who lives, works, and plays here in Hawaii.
I wholeheartedly agree. Well said. Thank you so much, Rob. You're always a treasure to talk to. And I
Likewise, Pam, and thank you for the opportunity.
It's our pleasure. You have a beautiful day.
You as well. Thank you, Pam.
Thank you. I wanted to just let everybody know, if you're tuning in, this is Business Matters, brought to you by the Maui Chamber of Commerce. And we are excited to, again, let everybody know about a program. It's a program from the Broadband Hui, who is helping to teach people about digital literacy on each of the islands throughout the state. But while they're teaching people about digital literacy, many of the people who are coming to the classes, while they are eager to learn, whether it's for workplace skills or it's for our kapuna who are trying to connect with family and friends, especially during COVID where they feel very distant, or it's people who want to, go to college and need a computer for their college work, or it's people who basically need some remote medical monitoring and maybe don't even have computers. There's a program through the Broadband Hui to take donated computers that get refurbished, and then they go to the folks who can't afford a computer that are going to the digital literacy classes. They can be given one when they exit the class, so that their learning is not in vain. They can continue to go home, practice, and continue to learn and meet those other needs. We were told of a story where a woman who was in the class, she had said, I was starting to learn how to use Word and Excel, but then my training ended. And the trainer asked, why did your training end? And she said, I was learning it in prison, but I've been released and I haven't had a chance to continue to gain these additional skills. And so through this free program, not only did she get the experience and be able to continue her education, but she was given a computer. And she said, this is the first time anybody has believed in me. So, she has served her time, and she is working hard to improve her life, and it meant the world to her. So if you have used computers, sometimes we have them in the back room at the office or piling up in our storage unit, please contact the Maui Chamber of Commerce. Our number is 244-0081, 244-0081. There are so many people in need of learning digital literacy skills. The computer you're not using would be of great benefit to them, and we'd be happy to help get it out of your space and into the hands of those in need. So call us if you can make a donation. We'd greatly appreciate it, and so would the Broadband Hui, who's working on digital equity and digital literacy. I'm now pleased to welcome Chamber member and great company owner Paulani Alexander, who owns Alexander Designs and Remodeling, which originally started as Rick's Custom Cabinets. Palani has been effectively running the company for the past 10 years. His level of commitment you can see it instilled in every project he does, from beginning to end. While using his skills to think outside of the box, his intent is to create spaces with lasting impressions. With widely varying budget requirements, Palani strives to provide complete satisfaction to all of his clients, wherever your budget is at. Palani, aloha and good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. How are you doing, Pam?
I'm great. Thank you. It's a Monday. Oh, no, excuse me. It's a Tuesday. There you go. We're just running. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. So, you did you work with Rick's Custom Cabinets? Oh, it's your dad.
I grew up around.
Yes.
I grew up around it.
Okay.
I was born and raised around that environment. And, I didn't follow in the footsteps right after, I graduated high school. I went and did my own thing for a while.
Uh-huh.
And came back and decided to take a chance at it and ended up loving it. So this is where I'm at.
That's so cool. So what was it that inspired you to come back?
My dad asked me to come back and help him. His age obviously was taking a toll on his body and needed some help. He was very busy, so I came back to help him, and it was supposed to be a short-term, 1-year break of being a chef, and ended up being a career change.
Wow, good for you. And
I love it.
Oh, well, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
Yes, definitely.
So you folks have a whole array of amazing products and services. Tell us about that.
So obviously we have a cabinet showroom, and we also do remodels, home building, and we sell several other products. One of the newest products and the most popular is an economic product called Not Wood. It's an aluminum product that looks like wood. And you can use it mainly for exteriors, but there are some interior applications for it, but mostly exterior.
Mostly exterior. So you get a wood look. What is it actually made out of?
So it's aluminum. So it's made out of a marine-grade aluminum. So it's perfect for our environment. Doesn't rust, doesn't wear and tear, There's a lot of plus sides to it. So you can do siding, trellises, fences, gates, all different types of products.
Wow. That sounds amazing. And that's available in the showroom too?
Yep. Yes, we have samples and everything there as well.
Obviously, if anybody looks at your site, tell everybody where your website is and where your showroom is.
So our website is adr-hi.com, and we are currently located at 250 Alamaha Street, Unit N15. It's right across from my appliances over there on Alamaha.
Okay, now just so we're clear and our listeners are clear, is that M as in Mary?
N as in Nancy.
Okay, N15 at 250 Alamaha. N as in Nancy. Okay, perfect. Because if you look at the site, you're going to see amazing pictures. And, Palani, you've got a great reputation for the work that you do, the craftsmanship of everything that you offer, and your remodels. I've heard amazing stories about your remodels. And so it seems to me that when you got back into this, it seems to me like you really honed in not only on the business side, but also the artistry of the work.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. That's one of my drives, is to just produce great work, great quality work, and just give the client exactly what they want, and sometimes even more. So that's what we strive for every day.
Yeah, it's nice when people come in and they think they want something and they're not quite sure, but then they get to talk to somebody like you and your team, and then you can sort of elevate their idea.
Yeah, definitely. I give a lot of credit to my team, honestly. I do work a lot, but without a great team, there is no, ADR. So
that is so true. I mean, we always say it takes a village in the community, and it takes an awesome team, no matter where you are and what business you're in. And our business owners really do appreciate their amazing teams. And you also have a spectacular group of people. And you're also you're very active on social media too.
We are. So we have ADR Hawaii on Instagram and Facebook. We also have Makana Construction, which is our home building site as well, on Instagram and Facebook. And just try to be everywhere as much as possible and be aware.
And talk to me a little bit about the home building side and Makana Construction. Tell me, what kind of homes do you build, and where have you been building?
We build whatever. I mean, it's anywhere from small stuff to like additions to custom homes.
Okay.
Whatever comes our way, we take it, and we make it work.
I love that. So tell with the kinds of things, you also supply products, and then you build, and we're hearing, of course, about two issues. One is that lumber is getting to be a challenge, so that's why also I'm excited about this aluminum product, the knotwood.
Correct.
But tell us a little bit about what's happening in that arena for you, and how what's happening in pricing, and also are you experiencing delays in getting product in?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going across the board right now. In the beginning, it was a lot of construction. Now I think we're seeing it in a lot of different trades as well. But we definitely got hit with the wood situation. We've experienced probably 3 or 4 price increases since all this has taken place, which is very unnormal for us. But just kind of got to fight through it and hope for the best and just keep pushing along. And we do our best to try and accommodate clients, whether it's taking a smaller percentage on profit or coming to some kind of conclusion to just make it work. That's kind of my deal, is just making the client happy. And so it's a win-win situation for everybody as much as we can. But yeah, the price increases of lumber and everything else and the delays have been definitely a downfall for, I think, everyone.
Yeah. We're just hearing devastating things there, and it's been a huge challenge. Major.
We take our stuff are taking probably twice as long to get here than normal right now.
Wow. Okay. So people, if you're planning on a remodel or a house, now's the time to go talk to Palani and his team, because things take longer to get in.
We'll get it done by next spring.
Oh gosh, that's scary.
Yeah.
There's also permitting involved in some of this stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. That's another issue.
Oh my gosh. Well, and I also wanted to mention, Paulani, that you are a member of the Construction Industry of Maui Trade Council, and a very active member at that. We want to thank you for your service there as well. You've been a great leader and helped with the home show and all of their projects. And I love that you say, just make it work. That really seems to be the perfect phrase that describes you, Palani.
Yeah, my dad taught me well. I give a lot of credit to him for my enthusiasm and my drive. Like I said, just making it work somehow, some way, just get it done.
That's really awesome. And I'm so glad that you've gotten to have so many amazing lessons from your dad. You've been able to follow in his footsteps and now create your own business. So, Paulani, thank you so much for joining us today. The show goes quickly.
Thank you, Pam.
We'll talk to you again soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. Unfortunately, everybody, again, that's all the time we have for Business Matters. I feel like I say that every week. We're sponsored by Mogul Airlines. I'm Pamela Tumpa, president of the Chamber, wishing you blessings and best wishes for a beautiful Tuesday Maui Day. Aloha.